Hey everyone, I'm Alchemist2, and I'm back again with another movie review. Actually, this one was a documentary. This was one that was sent to me by TTR, Thrill to Rain. He said, don't watch it when you're hungry. And unfortunately, I did watch this film before I was hungry, and it made me want to eat the table. But it's called Deli Man, and it's really quite fascinating. I've always liked delis, and we have a absolutely extraordinary deli where I'm from. Um, but my my dad's friend was telling me about delis in Chicago, and I need to go. I really do, because this movie made me want to go, and usually I don't like, but I like sauerkraut by itself, and I'm not really big into Reubens, but if you make a Reuben right, then I'm okay with it. I want to try some of those other foods that they had there, because I've never had anything that they were showing. Everything that they had looked absolutely decadent. It spoke of the actual origin of the delicatessen and of itself, and I didn't know this, but it started off as a German deli, and I thought, really? Huh. Who knew? But you get to meet all these deli men and women and see what their lives are like and understand how connected they were to the old country, especially the first deli man that they talked to, because his family was from Hungary. And it's actually really interesting when he talks about the tradition, and the only regret he had was that he really wanted to have his grandfather back so he could have that gravy recipe. And I just thought it was so funny. I thought, you know what? I feel the very same way, but I want my mom's curry recipe. I have a good one, but it's not the one that my mother got subsequently from my grandmother on my dad's side, who got it from somebody who was actually Indian. Um, oh yeah, best curry ever. But it something I'm kind of sad about. But he was walking down the street with his grandfather, and he and his grandfather had a completely different set of perspective about how everything was changing around them. They said, well, remember the shul? And they're looking at the shul, and he says, yeah, now it's retail. And they had kind of a certain, it sounded like the son had a certain disdain for it, and he wasn't really keen on it. And of course, the father says, well, wait another 20 years, you won't even recognize this whole city block. I thought, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. He said, nothing lasts forever in nature, and I thought, that's true. But the father actually saw it as something good, and the son was thinking about the whole tradition thing. Sorry, Fiddler on the Roof, had to, but I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. And he he says, it's so tragic that all these the old ways are just, they're kind of fading away. And honestly, with the deli, strangely enough, it's not, because they have everything. They passed it down through oral tradition, so it's through memory that they have these recipes. And I personally, if these deli men ever make a cookbook, I want it. I really do, because I want to learn how to do some of these really unbelievable foods. I love different flavors and spices, and that particular type of cooking reminds me of home, because my mother, she cooked what we call down-home cooking. And yeah, and at that point in time, I'll admit my dad and I were really fat, but we ate well. And they talked about the whole atmosphere of the deli, and how they had no compunction and, and no etiquette, and how they just would come up to you and start talking to you like you're part of their family. I'm like, that's amazing though. That's so cool. I mean, you can go and you can have a really good meal and actually feel full and realize that it's good food. Well, except for the schmaltz, I think a lot of the schmaltz will kill you. But as far as documentaries are concerned, Deli Man is one of the best I've seen. And like I said, don't watch it when you're hungry, because if you do, yeah, you're gonna want to eat anything in front of you, because everything looks absolutely unreal. And I give Deli Man 2 thumbs way up, 5 stars, hands down. It's just a stupendous documentary, and you learn so much while watching it, and you get to see the different methodologies, their ways of life, how they actually became deli men. And it kind of reminds me of watching Cake Boss, which I really like. Unfortunately, when I watch Cake Boss, I feel like I've gained 5 pounds, but nonetheless, it's a similar kind of story, even though that's a bakery, this is a deli. And very, the stories are alike, because Buddy actually, he wanted to be like his dad, and of course, Buddy's son wants to be like him too. I haven't seen any other episodes of Cake Boss, but I absolutely adore Cake Boss. Cake Boss is one of my favorite shows. But it's, I love cooking shows like that. You just get to see so many drool-inducing foods, and it makes me want to go to the deli now, because unfortunately the deli we have is expensive, but yeah, it's well worth it. Another place I want to go is Brooklyn, because they have rainbow bagels there, and I want to try a rainbow bagel before I die. They look awesome. So hopefully I will. And yeah, I want to go to Carlo's Bakery too, but that's another place on my bucket list I want to visit and at least try some cannoli and other things. They had some other really good looking confections that I can't even fathom. I have to go and try someday. They're not in I would go to Brooklyn. I would go to they're in Hoboken, so I would go to Hoboken too. That's about it. Till next time, love, long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.